While the Democrat and Republican presidential nominees duke it out this week over their competing income tax plans, Libertarian presidential nominee Gary Johnson calling for scrapping income taxes altogether, replacing them with a consumption tax. John, you think it's a good idea?
It's a very good idea. We shouldn't have to prove our income to the IRS, plus a consumption tax is the only way that every taxpayer can limit how much is handed over to the federal government. The only negative with Johnson's plan is it's too high at 28%, and he wants it to be revenue neutral. Why on earth would a libertarian want to maintain the amount of revenue flowing to Washington? Yeah. He should have it low so that we're giving less to Washington.
So, Rich, if he does what John wants, brings down the rate from 28%, would you be for it?
No, because it's too easy to manipulate. Milton Friedman said the problem with the sales tax is it could be too successful, it would be too easy to raise it in increments, and it would be too easy to apply a different rate of sales tax to what the government thinks is good consumption versus what it thinks is bad consumption.
Well, Bruce, one thing we know is that it ain't working out too well for the American public. Wages this week, we had a revision of a past figure which showed an increase of 3%. Now we see that wages are going down again. We've got to do something. Isn't taxes one way we can deal with it?
Well, I mean, my problem with the sales tax is that it's regressive and it tends to hurt poor people. And another thing, you know, John talks about it being high. You know, what would you do? In Chicago, we have a sales tax already of 10%. I mean, you add the Johnson plan on top of it, that gets you up to 40%. So I'm not really sure how that worked, but it would work, but it would hurt people, it seems.
Steve, one thing that Gary Johnson says is that if you focus on a consumption tax, you really wouldn't hurt people's attempt to create something new, because people wouldn't be taxed on income. So they'd go out in there and they'd work harder. There'd be a supply side effect. You'd have this blossoming of businesses with a GDP. We've had an average GDP growth of 1.4% during the Obama administration. That is pathetic for the United States.
It is pathetic, and I like the fact that Gary Johnson wants to get rid of the tax code. I think a flat tax is an easier way to go, more immediate way to go. You have to do two things, David. One is get rid of the 16th Amendment to the Constitution, which allows the imposition of the income tax. If you don't get rid of that, I guarantee you, you're going to end up with both, the sales tax and an income tax, which most states and most countries have. Second thing is, it's the real rate, when you look at it, is probably 33-35%. And you're going to have a real enforcement problem. For example, talking about favorites and what gets taxed, not taxed, the fair tax people or sales tax people say on new houses you wouldn't have to, you only have to pay the tax on new houses.
Yeah.
So what's the definition of new and old? You can see this thing is going to get immensely complicated very quickly.
Well,
so let's
Mike,
go with flat.
The only amendment in the U.S. Constitution worse than prohibition was the income tax that Steve talked about. Nevertheless, despite that, he does want to change. And here's Gary Johnson's tax plan. He wants to abolish the IRS. I think 95% of Americans would be good with that. Eliminate income corporate tax, and corporate tax, by the way, and establish this consumption tax. What's your idea?
Yeah, I think all of that is great. It lowers the cost of capital, which increases investment and will eventually increase jobs. What I don't like about it is the last time this was a big idea in the late 90s, they were talking about a rate of 15% as a consumption tax. Incomes haven't really gone up since then, and all of a sudden we have a rate above 20%. So that goes to the point the others were making, that this rate can go up very quickly.
And Sabrina, as Rich was saying, that's why Milton Friedman thought it was so bad, because politicians love it. It's so easy to raise. And we've seen it overseas, a very similar kind of thing. They call it the value-added tax. Gary Johnson says it differs, in fairness to him. But in point of fact, it's so easy for them to raise it over there. It might be over here, too.
Well, yeah, I don't think that Gary Johnson's plan is perfect or without flaws. And certainly if you look at something like the Cato Institute, they've talked about the idea of a consumption tax. But there are a lot of things that would have to happen in order to make it really effective. But that being said, I don't think it's bad that he's bringing this into the conversation, because I think our current system is one that benefits some at the expense of others. It's a way of setting policy. Someone mentioned earlier that government gets in the position of sort of choosing what's good and what's not good. And we want to move away from a system that does that.
I want to ask John about his godfather, Milton Friedman's suggestion that the reason it's a bad tax is because it's so easy for government to raise that tax. What do you think?
Well, not my godfather, but the main thing is the tax code's already complicated. It already exists that they can raise the income tax rate. So the problems with the consumption tax are the same things we have with the existing tax code. What's important about it is the one way that we can limit how much we hand over to the federal government. These other ways, we have to give it regardless.
What do you think, Rich?
I think John is being idealistic about this. I also think the next president's going to be the first one that's going to have to deal with cryptocurrency, blockchain currency, and stuff like that.
Well, that's right.
And I think that would make a sales tax very difficult to implement.
Very interesting point. Let's end it there.